Hey, and welcome to the neighborhood. This is Linda with Powerfully You, and I will be talking about retired life for me. There have been some changes and some updates, and today's subject I just want to talk about, well, a couple of things, but we'll name it one subject about as you become older, when you're a senior, should you get involved in the political climate if you have some serious views? Well, I think you should sometimes, especially when you feel that the cause is worth the fight. Um, on this channel, I'll be talking about my life as a senior. I am retired, but I had to go back to work for financial reasons. I am not going back full time. I just went back part time, a couple of days a week, and that's all I can do, and that's all I'm going to do. So just to be honest and let you guys know, so I guess you could say I'm semi-retired, but it's still my retired life because I will do that as long as I can. Who knows how long that will be? And it has to do with our finances. I get Social Security, and sometimes that's just not enough. So I do try to budget, as I've talked about before. But I needed a little extra, and plus I've had some big expenses. Like I told you before, I had my heating unit go out, so that was one thing. So that's one subject. So I guess I'll be approaching a couple of subjects here. And the other is, I'm not a big channel, so I'm not really afraid of losing any subscribers. Basically, I'm on YouTube to talk about my life, especially to look at other retirees and how they're doing things. And I have to say, as I look at other people's channel, I'm really getting some good suggestions that I have instituted. So this channel really is about me throwing in my 2 cents, what I'm going through, what I'm doing, how I'm living this retired life or semi-retired life. What are some of the challenges for me? So this would bring up the subject that I'm bringing up now. Some of the challenges for me right now is our political climate. I'm not happy about it. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you want to unsubscribe, that's fine too. It is what it is. Though I won't get too deep, but there's a lot of things that I don't agree with. I do agree with, getting or deporting immigrants that have criminal histories. I do agree with that. I do agree with people, that may be on social programs that are, able-bodied people that can work, that they should get out and work. But the ones who can't, who are maybe not old enough for Social Security but have chronic diseases and illnesses, I feel like they deserve that help and we should help them. So I hope that they don't lose any programs. I feel like education is important for our country because, our children at some point will be our world leaders. Do we want our world leaders uneducated and not at the best of their game when they may have to compete with other world leaders that are like Japan and all of them? They really stress education and stuff. Do we want to be behind? So we have to keep up with the educational system and make sure that everybody has a fair shot of getting a good education. Same thing with healthcare. Me being a nurse, I believe that we should be informed about, through the World Health Organizations, what is the countries around us, what are they doing health-wise? We should know when there are pandemics or any epidemics coming around. We should all share and be able to share research for the good and health of all people. And then on top of that, I believe in justice and equality, that everybody should have a shot at the American dream for all people. So those are my beliefs. And so I have to stand on those beliefs and principles and speak out when I feel like those beliefs and principles are being encroached upon, as I do right now. I do feel like we're in a constitutional crisis, which they don't really want you to say that, but that is what I believe. And I feel like at some point you have to stand up for your constitutional rights. But as an older person, it's not only my rights, because I may not be here that long. It's the rights of my children and my grandchildren. I want them all to be functioning adults that contribute to society in the most positive way. I want them to have a fair shot at all that they're willing to work hard for. And I want them to be treated equally as all people I feel like should be. I want them to have a fair shot at a good education, to be able to afford, basic human needs, to be able to work wherever they choose to work or whatever that they've studied for. There's a whole bunch of things that I do. DEI to me is just means Black or people of color. And I kind of hate the word because I kind of feel like, you don't have the courage to say who you're talking about. But actually DEI is women, and it doesn't matter what color, those who are handicapped, those people of color, and it may be even more, but it is including a lot of people that haven't always, if we are honest, gotten a fair shot. So I feel like, everybody, I don't feel like you should give me any more than anybody else, but I should be able to come to the table just like everybody else. Most of the time, and I am educated, I have a doctorate, as a matter of fact. So most of the time, most people of color know that they've had to work 10 times harder to get where they are, to be a nurse, to be competitive. It has been patients that don't want me to take care of them because I was Black. And I, at the time when this happened, was one of the nurses that had been there the longest, that had the best reviews and everything. But, they were accommodated. I don't have any problem. If you have a problem with me, I certainly don't want to infringe on that, because I feel like you have the right to say, hey, I don't want that. Well, that's fine. But then, that person got a nurse that had no experience or very little, and they had to deal with that. But hey, if that's what you want, be it. So, getting all that and saying all that, I'm coming to the point that I feel like as older people, maybe your views are different than mine, and you feel strongly about those views. I feel like you should be able to voice those, just like I'm voicing, and that's a constitutional right. I don't want that infringed upon for you, nor do I want it infringed upon for me. And I feel like as older individuals, we should sometimes speak up for whatever you believe is right. We should stand up for that. We can't always be silent when things are going on and they seem to be escalating. Sometimes as American people, remember, these people work for us. And we forget that. We do have the power if we all work together. Because one of the things I feel like is going on is they want division. So because if we don't come together as a unit and we don't recognize that, how powerful that we are individually and collectively, then they can kind of just put in their thought processes and whatever. But if we come together individually and collectively, and we say, no, we're not taking this. You work for us. You will do what the Constitution says. They definitely don't want that. So we do need to do that. And then I feel like we should educate ourselves. Like, what are the issues? Pick and choose what you feel like is worth your fight, whatever that is. But be educated. Don't listen to just one news channel. Listen to a variety of things, because you're only going to get, especially with news today, you're going to get a one-sided view if you only listen to one news channel. And even the news channels sometimes are still, like, some of them are scared to speak or whatever. So I have a well-rounded view. I listen to a lot of different views and choose what works for me. I suggest you do the same and research, through reading articles and all of that. Have more than one place that you get your research. Well, these are just some of the things that I feel. Sometimes I feel like my channel is my voice, and I feel like it's time for me to speak out. And I feel like it's time for others to speak out too. Some people may be afraid, and I get that. I'm not asking you to do what I don't have a big channel. I'm not getting any money for anything I do here, and I'm not going to lose any money. And I know that for some people that is an issue. You have to do what you have to do. And sometimes you do have to face your fears to do what's right. And know that it is not all about us. Some of the fight that I'm going to fight is not just about me. It's about my grandchildren and their children and their children's children. That they have a right to live a life that is freedom, justice, and equality for all people. Well, that's my spew for today. You be blessed. You be powerful. You be powerfully you. Talk to you soon.